Hey guys, I hope you're having a fantastic day. Today is Friday, May 8th. There's a clock that has the date over there, so that's why I keep looking over there, and it also has the time, obviously. I am so exhausted. I took a few days off from vlogging, not really intentionally, but I ended up sleeping a lot more than I anticipated. The one nausea medicine that they have me on through my IV is making me sleep an awful lot. I actually just got it, so I'm already feeling pretty exhausted from it, but I wanted to do a couple updates. My platelets are through the roof. The switch with steroids has been going pretty well so far, so that's always a good thing. I don't see any improvements with the switch, but I'm not like having any issues either, so it's always a good thing. And then I had an upper endoscopy yesterday morning. That was extremely difficult on my body. I've never woken up so nauseated, I don't think, from a procedure. I feel like a little bit out of breath because I've been doing like lung exercises too this morning, so I'm just starting to get a little bit tired. But the upper endoscopy, I was in a lot of pain afterwards, and just getting through, you know, the mornings. I didn't really do much other than sleep yesterday. I talked to my family just a couple of times. I haven't even been checking in as often because I've been sleeping a lot more. So they think that I might have an esophagus fungal infection, but we're waiting for biopsies to confirm what type and all that good stuff. I need to think if there was anything. I know I'm missing stuff, guys, but like I said, I'm pretty tired. I was able to get about a bag of fluids in, which is really good. My blood pressure has went down for now a little bit, but we're keeping a close eye on it because, you know, it just keeps coming back up, unfortunately. And I got this little nifty thing. I'll have to just kind of move the camera. That's my little breathing exercise thingamajig. I don't really know what it's called. I don't think she told me, my nurse. But I've had this nurse 2 or 3 other times. I really love her, so I feel very blessed to have somebody that's easier to work with and that's friendly and likes to talk. So that's always my advantage because I like to be able to talk a little bit with people, especially when I'm here alone. Yeah, so it's debated as usual when I'm going home. Rheumatology says they think I should be going home now. Everybody else, though, seems to be thinking that I'm waiting. I'm going to just wait to see what the house doctor says this morning. It was really helpful, though. He called my mom yesterday, and this is a new house doctor. It was just so helpful that he called her because I did not remember what I was told from the gastro. Apparently, he woke me up yesterday after anesthesia and started rambling what had happened. I had no idea what had happened afterwards. Everybody's like, did the doctor talk to you? And I was like, I think. Like, I remember seeing him and he was saying stuff. You know, his lips were moving. I don't remember what, though. So I don't always come out of anesthesia that great. I think I actually did really good coming out of the anesthesia yesterday, to be honest with you, compared to usual. But it's still not like ideal. It's still kind of difficult on my body. So especially like more in-depth tests like that are more difficult on me. So like I said, I've just been doing a ton of sleeping. So I guess we'll just see how long this vlog ends up being. I don't really have much of a plan, if you can tell with this vlog, and I'm, like I said, just exhausted. But I'm anticipating being here possibly till Monday, but like I said, you never really know in the hospital. Everybody's got a different opinion, unfortunately. So we'll see. I mean, obviously I would love to be able to go home sooner than later, but I want to go home and stay home. Alright, I'll see you guys in a little bit. Hi guys, so I don't think that I told you that PT and OT were here the other day. We did a little bit of like the strength training exercises and just seeing, you know, how weak I am, and I am weak. It's not symmetrical at this point, so it's not the same on the right and the left. Different things are weaker on the right, different things are weaker on the left, to be honest. There's no rhyme or reason that we know of. They did talk about also getting like handlebars for at home in the bathroom. Other than that though, and having me sit in the chair, that's all we really did. You can't really go too far with the virus. If you're in the hallway, you need a mask, and I don't know what was going on, but like they had to shut my door and I wasn't supposed to leave my room anyways, so we just walked around in my room, and the room's not that big, so I don't really feel like we did much, but it's better than nothing. So rumor has it that I may possibly be going home today. I'm trying to not get overly excited till I know for certain, which is easier said than done, because you know, at this point you just want to be able to go home. I think more so, like I keep saying, with the pandemic and the virus, like I'm ready to be home and get out of here. I was able though to get clearance from rheumatology, cardiology, endocrinology. I'm trying to think, was there somebody else? The house doctor. And we're waiting, that I can remember, just on the gastroenterologist, which is kind of the biggest piece to the puzzle, like for clearance to go home wise, because if I do have a fungal infection in my esophagus, like he needs to be able to say yes, you can start treatment at home, or no, we need to wait to start treatment. Everybody's hope is that we can be like a step ahead of this and start me on antifungal treatment like now, and then like if for some reason it comes back and it's not a fungal infection, or I'm not on the right meds, then we would just change them. But I don't really know like how anybody feels about that, to be honest. Well, I don't know how gastro feels about it. Everybody else is fine. So we're waiting to hear back from him. It's already 11:13 in the morning. He usually does his rounds really early, so I'm not thinking I'm gonna like see him today. I'm just hoping at this point just to hear from him, you know, like him give somebody the okay, the green light that I can go home, because I mean that would be lovely. I'm like so bruised and everything from all the needles and all the poking, and I'm ready for a vacation from the hospital. But like I said, I'm trying to not get overly excited yet till I know something for sure. Right, and I know that I'm like missing other stuff, but I don't think I'm gonna remember everything at this point. I was trying to like write notes and like, you know, keep everything organized. This way I knew what I had to say, but that went out the window pretty quickly once, you know, I wasn't feeling really good. So I guess that's it for now, and I'll see you all soon. Hey guys, I hope you're having a fantastic day. As you can tell, I made it home from the hospital Friday. It is now Monday. I had to take quite a few days off from vlogging. Actually, since coming home, I have not been doing that great. A common misconception, I feel, is that people think with chronic illness, as soon as you go home, like you're all better, you're back to baseline, and unfortunately that's not true. You're not out of the woods quite yet. At least I never am after coming home from the hospital. I am a lot weaker than I anticipated being, which is always difficult. Blood pressure has been doing lots of crazy swings. I'm going from real low to really scary high still. And then there's been the struggle with pain. I'm eating a little bit, so I can't complain about that, thankfully. So there's still just so much going on at the moment, and I have so many telehealth appointments to still set up. I've basically been monitoring my blood pressure, I feel like, watching TV or YouTube if I can focus, scrolling around, you know, on Pinterest and stuff. And resting, sleeping, taking meds. I mean, I'm not able to tolerate doing much of anything, but I do want to keep this portion of the vlog very short if possible. I will say without a doubt that if the coronavirus was not going on, I would have stayed in the hospital a lot longer. I'm thinking at least a couple of days, because they started me on another new medication and then allowed me to go home right away, which is not typical protocol for me. Just for obvious reasons, with so many allergic reactions and my history, we don't usually do it that way. However, when you're weighing all the pros and the cons, it was at that point I was stable enough to go home. So that's what we decided to do. And it has been very difficult. I definitely have wondered if we made the right decision with me coming home so soon. But a lot goes through your mind, especially when you really don't feel good. So I know, like, my health is just so complex and confusing. So what exactly did I get diagnosed with, right? I mean, that's the big question. Honestly, guys, my doctors have the same question. That's how confusing some of this stuff becomes. I don't know how or why, but it does become that confusing. So, I have a fungal infection in my esophagus. Apparently, my esophagus is having a bunch of issues. There's a bunch of really long words, like about that big, on my biopsy results. And some of them, when you pull up these really big fancy words, just say that they're very uncommon and rarely ever seen, and therefore they have very little information, which is not very comforting or helpful. And then there's apparently a lot of damage in the esophagus. Cells and tissues are damaged and somehow mutated. I'm gonna have to do a lot more research into that. I really don't know what to make of it, to be honest. And then, like I said, a lot of inflammation, a lot of mucus, different things like that. And then I had extremely high blood counts, which were, my platelets were high and different white cells were pretty high. My reds were starting to come up as well, which was interesting. And then we're still waiting on a lot of blood work, honestly, to come back. The other big thing is we know my mast cell is flaring. We know there's at least 1 to 2 other diseases flaring. It's pinpointing which diseases. We also know that I have a lot of inflammation, but it's pinpointing where is the inflammation and how do we treat it. There are still more questions than answers, to be honest with you. So I guess that's kind of like my recap of specifically where we're at and what's going on. I'm just kind of watching my chart, which is somewhere where I can look at my records and my labs and stuff, and trying to see what else has come up positive, what else might be a clue, what else looks off for my body. And I have tons of follow-ups to make, but I need to space them out because I don't have quite enough energy. I will do more updates on how I'm feeling and kind of what's going on in the days to come. So I will see you guys soon.